Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
Okay, what's up people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing good this Tuesday morning. Like always guys, if you are new to the stream, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe, it does help out the channel. Make sure you do hit the bell as well so you don't miss out any streams or uploads in the future. But yeah guys, welcome back to another stream. Make sure you check out the Telegram. Almost forgot, make sure you check out the Telegram. I post my trades there, watch this for the week videos I create. So feel free to check that out if you haven't done so already. But yeah guys, welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is well. FX Wolf, good morning. Beat me there to it. Hope you're doing good. Please take a look at Pound AUD and Euro AUD, of course. Assume, hope I'm saying that correctly. Pound CAD, we'll take a look. Tony Gold, as always, hope you're doing well. Welcome back. Anus, as always, welcome. Hope you're doing good, bro. Frenesis, what's up? Good morning. Hope you're doing good. I'm well. CGF pairs look very interesting. Can you go through Aussie Swiss, CAD Swiss? Okay, we'll go through the Swiss pairs as well. We'll start with Euro AUD and Pound AUD, but yeah, the markets have been moving a lot since the week has began, as you guys probably have seen. A lot of movement in the markets, which is good. We want to see momentum, so it's a blessing. Obviously, I'm not in any trades at the moment. I was in some Aussie longs yesterday, which ended up in a loss. Price came back to our area of value. This was on the watch list, which I was talking about coming into the week. Did take a loss on this one. Hopped into a trade and a retest of this area. Did have a nice bounce there, but essentially the level didn't hold and price broke to the downside and took my stop loss with it. So I took a loss there on Aussie yen. It was a good trade, fit the plan. Market structure was very good. Had a nice impulsive leg before, but Aussie yen decides it wants to switch direction on me and possibly switch direction overall. If we take out some of these lows here, which are almost done, we could probably expect to see a bit more downside. I wouldn't be so quick to jump into any shorts just yet with this one because we haven't broke through the lows yet. And we could still potentially put in a higher low or equal low, I should say. But especially with this impulse to the downside, this is more like a V-shaped reversal now. Impulse to the upside, impulse back down. Possibly we can get something like this. So I would definitely backing away from the longs as of yet. Was not expecting such an impulse move to the downside, but of course that's why we have a stop loss. So yeah, big move to the downside there for Aussie yen. Possibly could be gearing up for a potential reversal. If you do crack this level here, I would probably just ignore the long opportunities and focus purely on the shorts if we do go and break through that. But as of now, just waiting to see what happens next. But yeah, crazy move to the downside there for Aussie yen. Yen pairs were pretty bearish yesterday. Dollar pairs equally as bearish, if not more. Gold and silver were collapsing, falling out the sky. So very interesting price action, which is good, because now I'm looking to follow that momentum. And I'll show you which pairs I'm looking at in a moment. Let me just go through some of the pairs you guys are requesting. So Euro AUD, so big push to the upside. I was actually looking at shorting this one as well coming into the week, but we did break above the low I was looking to trade from. So essentially the market has been printing in a lot of these lower highs for quite a while now. As we can see here, equal highs there, low high, low high, low high. So I was looking for this move to continue back to the low here on the left. I still am, but I'm definitely a bit more hesitant looking for shorts now that I've lost the confidence that I was looking to short from. We had some nice lower highs. I was gearing up for another low high to form, but price did break back above this area here, so it was invalidated. I needed price to be back underneath this area for me to consider shorting. And we retested it, and of course from there we used that as support for a big move to the upside. So I stayed out with some shorts there for Euro AUD, and now taking out some highs here. Possibly could be seeing price potentially reverse as well. This is a similar kind of V-shaped price action, impulse down, impulse back to the upside again. Normally this entails the market is likely to push higher as well. So with Euro AUD, I'll probably be backing off now in terms of the shorts. Longs, I probably wouldn't be looking to long the market just yet. I'd want to see price taking out some major highs. We're taking out some minor ones at the moment, but it's not enough for me to go. I'm looking to long it. If you go and break through this, then yeah, I would expect to see some retracement, possibly back to this area here, and then some continuation would make sense. Kind of like a big inverse head and shoulder pattern there, if you will. But yeah, if you get the break of structure, this V shape, there is possible upside. And again, if you zoom into the higher time frames, Euro AUD is still bullish on the higher time frames as well. So the shorts I was looking to take this week would definitely counter trend, but possibly the trend still got some mileage left to it. So yeah, keep an eye on a break of structure on the left of 1.664, and some pullbacks and continuations look pretty good going into the rest of the week. But yeah, I would not be looking for shorts at all anymore, and kind of getting ready for some longs if they do kind of fall. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so I'll take a look at pound AUD next, pound CAD. We'll go C chair pairs as well. Michael, what is up? Glad to see you again. Glad to have you on the stream. Hope you're well. Hamza, welcome to the stream. Wish you a blessed trading month as with you too. Just took some profits on Euro USD sell. Nice. Now just enter the sell at 1.04881. Stop loss okay. We'll take a look. Yeah, Euro USD has been falling out the skies, so Taking sales on that one is a bit of a no-brainer there. So congratulations on that trade. We'll take a look at Euro USD in a bit more detail. Faith, what's up? Good morning. Hope you're well. Omar, what is up? Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Fernand, what is up? I'm doing good. Can you cover gold? Of course, we'll take a look at gold as well. Anus took a nice sell position on Euro USD yesterday. Nice. Start of the month, secured 2.5. Oh, wicked. That's a great start to the month. Great start to the quarter as well. Matt 2645, hello pound CAD shorts based on daily. I'm looking to short pound CAD as well. We'll touch on pound CAD in a moment. And I took profits early. Could be a 10R win. Wow. 10R to start the month and the quarter. That would be very, very nice. Yeah, because Euro USD tanked, didn't it? It tanked heavy. Especially on the lower time frames. Big moves to the downside. All the dollar pairs. Aussie dollar dropped as well. Pound USD dropped. So, yeah, anyone dollar bullish yesterday would have been rewarded quite handsomely. But, yeah, I mean, 2.5R, I can't complain with that either. But, of course, 10R would have been 4 times nicer. What's up, Zart? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Blessing. What's up? Welcome to the stream. Nasdaq. Okay, let me go through some pairs. Before I forget, I'm still going to do pound AUD, then I'll go on to pound CAD and we'll go through some CHF pairs. So, pound AUD, we did see a big push to the upside this morning, kind of the same, well, yesterday as well, kind of the same thing with Euro AUD, equally priced back above some local levels of support, retested, and now is looking pretty bullish as well. So, with pound AUD, it's kind of price coming into a very key level of support, which is hanging on to right now. As you can see on the daily time frame, big wick to the downside not too long ago. Another equally big wick to the downside. So the market's finding hard breaking through this 1.89 area. I'm still looking for a lower high to form somewhere and move back to the downside. So what I'm looking at is some retracement, a lower high, and that happening possibly maybe back to this high here on the left, or maybe even a retest of this structure up there as well. So right now we're coming to support, prices rejecting it. As you can see, we do have these higher highs and higher lows. So there's a good chance we'll probably see a bit more upsides, and I'm looking around 1.93, 1.95 for the market to give us another lower high to come back down again. So at the moment, your best kind of opportunity right now will probably be some short-term longs. I'm not really a fan of longs. I'm kind of just waiting for price to come up to these areas, and then I'll start looking for some sells if they do set up. Yeah, if we can break through some structure, which is basically this high here on the left, because of course this is the high that sent us to the downside. If we can break through that, I would expect to see the next continuation to the upside, and we can start looking for some sales later on. But again, we're kind of getting a lot of these V-shaped reversals, big impulse to the downside, another push back up again, equally as strong. And typically with these V-shaped patterns, we do expect reversals most of the time. So yeah, it does look like pound AUD has some mileage to the upside as well. I'll be focused on these areas for some sells. Again, not selling straight away. I want to see price start breaking structure again, some lower highs, and then looking to take some trades to the downside. But in terms of buys, this is not a bad place to do it. Of course, you want price to break structure. I wouldn't buy it now. Wouldn't make much sense. But yeah, I do fancy some more upside with pound AUD. Same thing with Euro AUD as well. Both are very similar pairs too. So yeah, bullish bias, I'll say short to medium term for both of them. Okay, so we'll take a look at pound CAD. So pound CAD, yeah, that one's been pushing to the upside as well. Again, still treating this as retracement. We've had a very crazy move to the downside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. At 11 consecutive days of price declining, which is quite astonishing because you don't normally see that. 11 consecutive days. It's quite a big move. But yeah, we're expecting some retracement. So I do expect pound CAD to get back down to this low again sooner or later. I'm looking at some of these lows here on the left. So this one here and this one here as well. So these are the areas I was talking about on my weekly analysis. If you haven't checked it out, most recent video on my channel. But these are some of the areas I'm looking for price to pull back into before I start considering looking to short the pair. So I'm keeping an eye on pound CAD at the moment. Price is looking like it's starting to run out of steam, coming back into the highs here. Again, I wouldn't short just yet. Possibly if we can break out the consolidation maybe there could be some sales to the downside, something like that. That could be interesting going forward. Keep an eye on a retest of that low. Right now, price is moving sideways more than anything and can still possibly break to the upside again into the areas I was talking about in the daily chart. Impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, and then possibly you might see the reversals happen from there. So I'm still keeping an eye on some areas slightly higher up because there's some nice levels of resistance we can come back and retest and sell off from. But we are struggling at this 1.65, 600 area. So if you can break some structure, that could be a decent little sell opportunity. And again, targets, I would expect price to come back to the swing low there, but also these areas could be a nice place to bank some profits or manage your trade however you plan to manage your trade. But yeah, in terms of direction, in terms of bias for pound CAD, still very, very much to the downside despite this up move that we've had over the past couple of days or so. So yeah, pound CAD still bearish bias, still looking for us to come back to the lows at 1.637. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's ready yet, just a short. Kind of still moving sideways. Let's see if we can get a break of structure or move higher. And then we consider price action later on. But yeah, pound CAD still bearish. Nothing has changed with that one. We'll go through some CHF pairs next. I'll go take a look at Euro USD in a bit more detail. Gold as well. Nasdaq, we'll take a look. Pound NZD. Simon, I took some GJ sells yesterday, secured more than 100 pips. Nice. Yeah, GJ did drop, but yen pairs dropped quite heavily yesterday. Scorpio TFX, what is up, everyone? Yo, how things? Not too bad. Bit late today, but I'm here. That's all that matters. Scorpio TFX, welcome to the stream. Zark, what happened to your prop firm challenge? Well, my Forex funds happened to my prop firm challenge, but yeah, I haven't decided which one I'm going to go with yet. I've got a couple in mind, but I'm not too sure which one I'm going to go with yet. Probably either maybe FTMO or funding pips. Again, it's a funny one at the moment, but yeah, those are the two I'm looking at to possibly go with. There's another one as well. Funding? No, it's not funding engineer. Funding traders, maybe. I need to check on that third one, but it's one of those three. It's one of those three. I've narrowed it down to one of those three, and yeah, I'll probably start it next week. But yeah, it's still a sticky one still, because I've recently looked at the Twitter space of prop firms. Not good at all, because I'm not really active on Twitter. I don't really look at Twitter like personally or in trading wise, but recently I have done, and yeah, there's just a lot of stuff going around there, and yeah, it doesn't give you confidence to go for prop firm, but I'll still give it a shot, or a second shot I should say. But yeah, I still plan on doing it. Okay, so we'll go take a look at we did pound CAD. We'll take a look at CHF pairs next. So yeah, CHF pairs are some interesting areas. We have seen some nice reaction at them. I'm keeping an eye on Aussie Swiss in particular, Euro Swiss as well a little bit, but I like Aussie Swiss a lot more. Again, long term, still looking at price coming back to these lows here at 0.53464. So that's the area. Thank you so much, Benjamin, for subscribing. If you guys are enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe. It does help out the stream. And yeah, guys, make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss any uploads in the future as well. But yeah, Aussie Swiss long term target still back down at these lows here. So right now I'm looking at some shorts. Prices come back to retest some structure. This is the weekly time frame, by the way, and we've had a really nice reaction off that area. So yeah, I'm looking at price coming back to these lows here now. I'm waiting for a good opportunity to start shorting. We've kind of just broke through some structure here nicely, so I'm looking for some lower highs to present themselves, and then I'll get into some shorts somewhere, maybe the breaking test of the low, and then I'll take some trades to the downside. So right now I'm just waiting for a setup to actually trade. In terms of the bias, in terms of the analysis, in terms of the targets, that's all kind of cemented now with Aussie Swiss reacting with that 0.59 area. Really nice reaction. Price starting to break some structure as well. So tick. Now you actually need a good setup to actually take the trade. and get involved with the market. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for with Aussie Swiss, waiting for an actual setup to present itself that fits my plan. And then I'll take some shorts. Again, probably not going to hold it all the way down to the low there. But yeah, looking to take some shorts to the downside for Aussie Swiss. Euro Swiss equally kind of as good. This one's quite bullish today, but still rejecting this daily area as well. And with Euro Swiss, still looking at a push back down into this daily support low. Well, daily, weekly, monthly support, 0.95. So I'm still looking at a push into this area for Euro Swiss. As you can see, another reaction. So very, very similar opportunity to Aussie Swiss. And of course, they're both Swiss pairs. So no real need to trade them both. Just trade whichever will give you the better opportunity. And so far, that would probably be Aussie Swiss. Of course, haven't got a trade set up yet, but that one looks a little bit more likely. Euro Swiss is just quite choppy right now. So again, I was speaking about this a couple of weeks ago. Aussie Swiss kind of trends a little bit better than Euro Swiss. Swiss pairs in general are a little bit choppy, but Aussie Swiss has a bit more of a trend to it than Euro Swiss. It's very, very up and down. So I think I'll just focus on Aussie Swiss for now. But in terms of the direction analysis, still looking for a push to the downside. But yeah, waiting for a good opportunity to actually start placing some sells. CAD Swiss as well, really nice reaction back at the top for this one. Again, this one's a bit more of a ranging market, so although it looks good to sell from, possibly could see another move back down to the lows there. I wouldn't be surprised if that was to happen. I prefer trading Aussie Swiss because there's a bit more of a trend at play. As you can see, impulse correction. So I'm following a trend here, whereas CAD CHF, I'm just trading between high and low. So I prefer to trade Aussie Swiss because there's more of a trend. But again, we can probably expect to see a similar move happen as well for CAD Swiss. Probably keep an eye out for this high there as well. Pound Swiss, that one's just moving sideways. I'm not interested in Pound Swiss at all. We've actually got a big level of support here, and price is kind of stuck between that support level and this resistance, and just been moving sideways for quite a while. So I've said multiple times that I'm still waiting for Pound CHF to break to the downside, because I do think there's a long way to go, possibly back to this low here as well. 1.09 looks good for some shorts towards. So yeah, I do think Pound CHF will eventually break to the downside, but yeah, I'm not willing to trade in that kind of consolidation until we break out. And New Zealand Swiss as well looks probably just as good as Aussie Swiss. This one kind of broke above the level a little bit, but if you can get back below, I'll still be looking for some sells. And then yeah, looking to take some trades to the downside, and there's a long way to go as well. If price is gonna fulfill my buys, fulfill my analysis, you still got a long way to go. So we don't necessarily need to take trades right at the top here. We're looking at pullbacks, breaking retest and whatnot. And yeah, essentially looking at a push all the way back down to the swing low down there. So that's kind of my verdict for the CHF pairs. Pretty much bearish in all of them from a higher time frame perspective, down to the 4H, just waiting for some good opportunities to actually get involved with them. Okay, so we'll take a look at Euro USD Gold next as well. Go for Pound NZD, Nasdaq 2. CAD JPY, of course, we'll take a look as well. Go for some yen pairs as well. NECA, funded. Yeah, I haven't heard great things about funded next, to be fair. I mean, I think there was someone on the stream last week who said they've had good experiences with funded next, but then I've heard the opposite online as well. So I don't know. It's a weird one, because sometimes people say, yeah, it's great, I haven't had a bad experience, and then some people are like, yeah, it's crap. So you don't know entirely which to believe, because both could be telling the truth. Both just might have had the opposite experiences. But yeah, I haven't heard personally good things about them, so that's why I'm not really looking into them. Funding Pips is cheap and based in Dubai, relatively safe. Yeah, I mean, I've heard good things about Funded Pips, so that's why I'm looking at them. I'm with Funded Pips. They have a great spread, bro, and they'll face slippage. Okay, that's good. Again, another good person said they've had a good experience with Funded Pips as well. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, a little bit of word of mouth, because although word of mouth can be a tricky one as well, because both people can say opposite things and both be telling the truth as well. But generally speaking, I've heard only positive things from Funded Pips, so that's why I like them. I like FTMO as well, because they've kind of been in the game the longest and they're still going. and they're a little bit different to other prop firms as well. So that's why I like FTMO as well, because they're kind of the longest still doing what they've been doing since like 2014 or 2015, whenever it is they started. So that's why I like FTMO. But again, we don't know at the end of the day. And there's another one as well. Their CEO's got a YouTube channel as well, and I like it, but I can't remember the name. Euro Swiss, okay, we'll take a look as well. Euro AUD, we had a look at that one at the start of the stream. If you scroll back to the start, I think it's the very first pair we looked at, game scenario, you'll see. Benjamin was up, more downside for Aussie AUD after RBA meeting, steady rates, low steady growth, China bad performance. It looks bad for Aussie going forward. We'll take a look at Aussie dollar. I think that one's got a lot of room to the downside. Yep, someone just requested it. What's up, Dan? Almost got Dean. What's up? Welcome to the stream. I am doing good. How are you? Sculpey, I did get the journal. It arrived a few days ago. I had a look at it. It's decent. I like what I'm seeing. The only thing I don't like about the physical journals that you can't take screenshots. Well, you can, I suppose. Screenshots of your trades. You would have to like physically print it out and then stick it in someplace. But yeah, that's the only thing. That's the only thing why I prefer online. But in terms of writing down, just having a solid log of your trades, pretty decent as well. It would be nice to have like individual notes for individual trades, because the notes is at the bottom, and you obviously got your trades at the top. So that would be my only critique maybe. But apart from that, it's a solid log for your trades to have it physically written down. But yeah, it's decent. Well done on this, Sculpey TVX. I like it. Favor, CAD JPY. Yeah, we'll take a look. I'll go through the yen pairs all together. Any experience with Blue Guardian? Yeah, I've never actually heard anyone really talk about Blue Guardian before. I've seen their ads on YouTube. Sometimes they've got a lot of ads on YouTube, so that's how I know of them. But in terms of people actually using them, I've never actually heard of anyone experiences, so I'm not really looking at them at the moment. Passed my challenge last week, signed a contract plus verification, still no logging credentials. With who? Oh, is that with Blue Guardian? That's not a good look either. You want that to be fairly instant, to be fair. As soon as you pass verification, you want to get your kind of logins, pretty soon. So yeah, that's not a good look either. But how many days has it been? Because maybe you might take some time to verify your like ID and stuff. Maybe that might take a day or two, so I can understand that. But if it's been like 5-6 a week, then that's not good. Euro USD I'll take a look at as well. Pierre, what is up? What do you think of Euro Yen? Yeah, I'll go through the yen pairs in a moment. Tobago, what is up? Nice, Tobago. That's also the sprinter from Botswana, I'm pretty sure. Like the old athletics. Funded trader, you mean Miko? No, is it funded? No, it's not funded trade. Funded trade is the big one, isn't it? The funded trade is the big one with the knight. That's the big one. It's not the funded trader. It's maybe, is it funded trader or funding traders? Funding traders. It's something of those lines. I'll look it up and I'll tell you tomorrow. Actually, what am I doing? I can just tell you right now. Let me go on YouTube and find out. I'll be a second. Is it funding traders? Yes, funding traders. Yeah, it's always just a mixture of one of the two. But yeah, it's funding traders. Still bullish. Looks still bullish. I'm pretty bearish in Euro Swiss. I mean, of course, at the end of the day, it's all analysis. So, I could be wrong. You could be wrong. We could be right. Whatever. But in terms of my analysis, I'm only looking to short this one. I can see the trends very much to the downside here on the higher time frames. This is the weekly chart, by the way. We're coming back to retest some structure here as well. I'm expecting to see another lower high like we've been doing over here on the left, over here, and another move back to the support level. So that's where my bias and analysis comes from. Pretty simple, but of course, potentially price might want to do that. It's all probabilities at the end of the day, but I'll be favoring shorts back to this level here. As long as we can hold this level as a resistance, I'll be expecting another low high to form. So that's kind of where my bias comes from for Euro Swiss. But yeah, we'll see if we actually get some setups, because at the moment it's kind of just moving weird right now. Anyway, let me go through Euro USD. We'll take a look at gold, and I'll go through some yen pairs before I forget about them. Okay, so Euro USD, big drop to the downside yesterday. A lot of dollar strength, and Euro USD plummeted to the downside. A nice little rejection over here, and then price absolutely plummeted. Again, we've just taken out some more lows as well, so the trend is still going strong in my opinion. We might be getting a bit more of a corrective pullback now. I can kind of see that happening potentially. It would be nice, a retest of this area here, possibly. I'm not too sure we'll pull back that to that extent. But in terms of the direction, in terms of the bias, it's still very much short for Euro USD, and still looking at a little bit more downside for this one. So yeah, congratulations, a couple people got into some nice shorts there for Euro yesterday, and yeah, I'm looking at another pullback and another continuation. I'm still looking at price coming to this weekly area over here on the left, so that's kind of the targets I'm working towards with Euro at 1.03100. So that's what I'm looking for price to head towards. But yeah, I'm just looking at some pullbacks and more continuations. But yeah, consistent lower highs, consistent lower lows. Just need to see price pull back and retest some structure. Possibly could see price retest this low and continue. Not really a fan of that. The breakout's a little bit too shallow in my opinion. I would like to see price kind of pull away a little bit further. Then I'll consider the retest. This is just a little bit too shallow for me to consider and break and retest at the moment. So that's why I'm not really looking at that low. Possibly could reject it, could continue, but it doesn't interest me for that one. But yeah, still short buy, so still keep an eye on the sells. Gold equally as well. That one drops downside very aggressive. That's kind of come into my targets pretty much, which I wasn't expecting price to do in the first kind of day of the week. Absolutely melted the downside gold ever since taking out this low here. We've been dropping like it's hot, and yeah, possibly now it's time for some retracement for gold. We still have the support level here at 1809, so there's a little bit of room to the downside for gold. But yeah, I would like to see some retracement first. I would like to see some retracement here. I gave out two areas coming into the week. I said keep an eye on the retest of this area and the retest of this area. But yeah, I didn't get a retest of either. Price just kept falling. So I would like to see gold retrace a little bit, give me a little high somewhere, and then drop to the downside. But yeah, still looking at price coming back to this support level here, 1809. I wouldn't be surprised if we go and take it out as well. But yeah, it's essential that I see some retracement first for gold, and then we can start looking to attack gold to the downside again. But yeah, still bearish on the pair, but definitely want to see some retracement sooner or later. Okay, so I'll go through some yen pairs. A lot of requests: CAD yen, pound yen, euro yen. I'll go through the yen pairs, and I'll take a look at Nasdaq, pound NZD, Aussie dollar. We'll go through some dollar pairs as well. We haven't done that yet. Fund and next use their own broker. So yeah, that's not a good sign either. Because of course that was one of the problems with my Forex funds, being their own broker, which is obviously not registered, not regulated. They're not authorized to operate as a broker. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being your own broker, but you need to be regulated and authorized to operate as a broker, especially in the US as well, because if you're not, then that's definitely illegal. But yeah, unless that's what happens with Fund and Next, then yeah, they could meet the same fate. Dollar yen, yeah, we'll take a look when we go for the yen pairs. Brilliant, appreciate the feedback. No problem, Scorpio TFX. Dan, they said between 24 and 48 hours after signing a contract, almost 72 hours. Yeah, that's not good at all. Yeah, I'll try and email them or something. There should be like a support team you can email Because yeah, if they say between 24 and 48 and it's 72, that's not a good look. Especially if they don't do it by today as well. Yeah, I would definitely call them out on that. Zark, I passed my challenge last month and I hit 10 losses back to back, so I skipped trading for a few weeks. Yeah, again, managing your losses, managing your trading. Trading is not just win. It's win, lose, and you can get winning streaks, losing streaks. Don't know how big your losing streak could potentially be. Again, even if you have a 70% win rate, you potentially could still encounter 30 losses in a row. Of course, you would win your next 70, but that's still a possibility. It's still mathematically possible to still incur 30 losses in a row. So you have to be able to protect your downside. You have to be able to protect your capital, because that's the number one priority. Protect capital, then make money is number two. So if you do go through a losing streak, especially with these funded accounts where there's going to be parameters where, if you slip up, they're looking for excuses for you to slip up, to take the account off you, because they don't essentially want you to be too profitable or profitable at all, to be fair. So yeah, make sure you make sure you make it hard for them to take the account from you. Reduce your risk, set limits for yourself kind of within the limits. So if the overall kind of drawdown for the day is 5%, set yourself 2% as your max drawdown limit. So you're staying far away from that 5%. Same thing with the overall drawdown as well. So you want to kind of protect yourself from that extent. But yeah, if you're on a losing streak and you're doing a challenge, or you've got a funded account, just reduce the risk right down, because it's going to take you a lot longer to fail and then have to pass the challenge, pass phase 1, pass phase 2 to get the account back. Rather just reduce your risk, slowly work your way back up again, and then when you're comfortable, maybe you can increase your risk a bit. Don't necessarily have to, but that's up to you. Best prop firms from my perspective are FTMO, Funded Pips, Fivers, Funded Engineer. Yeah, I've heard good things about Fungineer as well, and Fivers, I've heard good things about them too. But yeah, I just like FTMO because they've been around the longest, which I don't know if it's a good thing, to be fair, at this point in time, but I think it is a good thing. And Funded Pips as well. I've heard good things from them as well. If I contact support, they say, be patient. That's funny. Yeah, if they say be patient, just say why put on your website or whatever 24 to 48 hours when it's been 72. It's simple, because if I say, okay, I'm going to deliver something to your product by this and this time, if it's outside that time, then that's on me. That's not, be patient. So that's definitely bad on their part. And that's not me trying to be like complaining and whiny. It's simple. If you're going to say to someone, wait 24 to 48 hours to get something, and then it's outside of that time, of course you have to apologize. Maybe it's just taking a little bit longer than it usually does, but you would apologize for that, and trying to take the blame rather than just be patient. Anyway. Okay, so I'll go through some yen pairs now. So we'll start with pound yen, since I'm pretty sure that was requested first. So yeah, pound yen, lovely sell off to the downside. Price held this area here at 182.500, and a pretty aggressive sell off there to the downside. So with pound yen, we're still pretty consistent with these lower highs. If I drop back to the 4H, as we can see, we had the first high over there. Since then, the market has been printing all of these lower highs, and looks like we just printed another one. So with pound yen, I was talking about price coming into this low, which I think we're almost there, and this low here as well. So I do still see a bit more downside for pound yen. In terms of actually getting to any trades, I think the ship has already sailed. The best kind of area to take any trades would be on a retest of this level. Now that we've had that sell off from there, I'm not really seeing a good time to enter any shorts, because we're coming back into support. We've got the target not too far away as well, so it doesn't really make too much sense to short pound yen at the moment, unless you were to come up again, and then you can probably catch some sells higher on, maybe retest some structure up here. That possibly could be a nice short, but unless if we just kind of consolidate here and then probably drop to the downside, then I don't really see a good trade opportunity at the moment here with pound yen. Sales would make sense up there, stop loss in a safe place, take advantage of a possible move to the downside, which of course we can see has happened here. So yeah, pound yen I'm still bearish on. I'm looking for us to come into these lows here. So I do still see more downside, but in terms of actually placing trades, I think the ship has sailed with this one. I'm not really seeing a good opportunity to short it. Euro yen, this one's still consolidating. I think there is a big breakout on the cards there for euro yen because we've been consolidating for quite a while now. But yeah, I'm not interested to trade euro yen in this area. I need price to eventually commit to one direction, whether it's breaking to the upside or breaking to the downside. I'm not too bothered. But yeah, I'm kind of just waiting for a breakout. So my bias, my analysis has been pretty quick to establish here with euro yen. In terms of my personal trading, just pretty much draw a high and a low and then move on, because I need price to break above these areas before I even consider start looking for trades and start looking at a larger bias and whatnot. So with Euro CHF, with Euro Yen, if we do break to the downside, then I'm looking at price coming to this area here. So if we can break through, then something like that would make sense. And of course, if you do break to the upside, then we're looking at price coming back to the high there on the left at 159.749 as well. So we've got some really nice targets to work towards in terms, when we actually do break out. We probably could go a lot further than both of these targets, but just in terms of managing your trades, or it's up to you how you want to take your trades and set your targets. But those are like good areas to look at once we do eventually get the breakout. But yeah, for now, Euro Yen still bouncing, still holding on to this 157, 100 level of support, or 157 we'll call it. So yeah, not really interested with Euro Yen. I suppose people looking to trade the range might be interested in some buys right about now. And yeah, it does make sense, but for me, I'm waiting for the breakout. So that's kind of my stance with Euro Yen. Okay, so I'll go through a couple more yen pairs as well. Take a look at some dollar pairs, then we go through Nasdaq, pound, NZD2. So yeah, Euro Yen consolidation, waiting for a breakout. NZJPY, we had a pretty big sell-off for this one as well. If we can take out some of these lows, then possibly that could mean a bit more downside for NZJPY. Because again, we're kind of having that V-shaped reversal, impulse up. Ooh, forgot to press the actual thing. Impulse up, impulse down. Possibly could see something like this happen as well, similar to AUDJPY, which looks like we could be breaking through that low anytime soon. We've got a strong impulse up, strong impulse down, could end up doing something like this as well. So with AUDJPY and NZJPY, it looks like both of them's had a big kind of fake out to the upside a little bit. It's not really a fake out, but with the V shape, I would expect to see a reversal after it. Same thing with NZJPY as well. So it does look like there's a bit more downside on the cards for both of them. CAD Yen, big move to the downside as well. Again, I did say for this one, if you can break through some of this structure, especially this low, we're looking at a lower high and then push back down. Main reason being, it looks like the market's kind of had a bit of a fake out above this high here, which is this move up here. And now possibly we could see a lot of downside from that area. So I do think with CAD Yen as well, there's room to the downside, and could be seeing a test of this 108.300 level, which we broke through, never really had a solid retest of either. So looking at price coming into this area, but yeah, we'll want to see some pullbacks, some lower highs first before shorting. Swiss yen as well, this one already had a nice reaction off this area here. Another lower high, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, and the fourth one there, couldn't count for a second. But yeah, with this one as well, looking for price to come back to the low, and we'll probably go from there as well. Possibly could come to some of these areas, but won't speculate at the moment. Just looking at push into these lows. So again, with Swiss yen, unless maybe on the trade up there, the next best area to look for some shorting opportunities might be a retest of this structure, 163, pretty much on the dot. Not a bad place, but you probably want to scale right down to the 50-minute time frame for some entries to make sure the risk reward's worthwhile. But yeah, I am looking at price coming back to this low here for Swiss yen, and we'll see if price can break through and continue. But yeah, definitely bearish bias in the pair. So it looks like the yen pairs could be looking to turn bearish. Every yen pair, maybe apart from dollar yen, this one is still pushing to the upside, still seeing higher highs and higher lows, and we're almost at 150 now. So yeah, dollar yen's the only yen pair which I would say I'm still bullish on. Aussie yen could be turning bearish pretty soon. CAD yen after the break of structure, then the fake out would be looking to sell. Euro yen, this one's just kind of sideways, so waiting for the breakout. Swiss yen bearish, pound yen bearish, and JPY looks like that one could be bearish soon as well. So yen pairs look like they got a bit more downside left to them. So yeah, hopefully that made sense for the yen pairs. I'll take a look at pound NZD, then I'll go through NASDAQ, some indices, and we'll go through some dollar pairs as well. Okay, where was I? NECA basically look for the ones out of USA and the biggest so they can pay you. True. I mean, that's essentially all you can do as well. You know, we don't have the ins and outs of prop firms, so you can't tell necessarily if their operations are honest or not. You just have to kind of go with the flow. Again, prop firms are just a calculated risk, aren't they? You know, potentially you can get funded, make some decent money, or you potentially could take the challenge and the firm goes down as well. So you have to kind of just be okay with the both extremes happening. You know, potentially it going under and you lose your deposit, the challenge fee or whatever. So as long as you're okay with that fact potentially happening, because that's literally what happened to me. But if that does happen, you're okay with that, and you do have the skill set as well. That's an important thing. I would definitely highly recommend not doing any prop firms if you don't have the skill set down yet, especially in this kind of day and age as well. So I would suggest stay far away from it. Just focus on building the skill set with a demo account. But yeah, if you have the skill set, you can afford to take the risk, then it's just a calculated risk at the end of the day. If you can accept the fact that potentially it might not last, then I still say go for it. And again, in terms of which prop firm, it's difficult to say which one's trustworthy, which one's not. A lot of speculations happen on Twitter, which is calling out a lot of prop firms at the moment as shady, not doing the right things and stuff. And again, you don't know at the end of the day, so it's just a calculated risk now. I mean, it always has been, to be fair. Aussie dollar, yeah, we'll take a look as well. FX trading journey, hey buddy, how much time you invested to reach profitability? Good question. How much time I invested? I mean, it took me about 3.5 years to actually see some consistency in the markets. But yeah, for those 3.5 years, I wasn't always so invested in the markets. I'd say the first year I was, and then probably about 6 months after the first year, I kind of took a break from the markets a little bit because I just started university. My main focus was university, my education there. So I wasn't really focusing on the charts then, but then I quickly realized that university wasn't really for me. So that's when I picked up trading again. So then probably about from 2 years after that, I was pretty consistent. I was doing, not every day, but I'd say most days I was doing like good 4 or 5 hours a day, a lot of hours on the weekend as well. And I was doing that for good 2 years about before I started seeing some consistency. But again, it's different because you can still put a lot of time in, but you can still not see the results. So a lot of the lessons that I learned during those 2 years was kind of just stop making the same mistakes, starting to actually journal, start to reflect, see where I was slipping up and making mistakes. And I kind of only started doing that towards the final 6 months until I became profitable. So the first kind of year was kind of just me kind of not messing around, but kind of dabbling in different things, trying to find out what my rhythm is. And then I kind of stopped. I wasn't really seeing any results. Started university as well, so that was my main focus. Then I picked up again about 6 months after that. So after that, for about a year and 6 months, I was kind of just repeating what I did the first year. And then the 6 months after that, I started journaling heavily and started to actually see what I was doing in terms of my process, because I remember at one point I was looking back and I could see, okay, I've taken this many losses, I've taken this many wins. My losses were outweighing my wins, so basically what I need to do is kind of reverse that, hold my wins longer, close my losses short quickly, and kind of reverse engineer what I was doing. So I started doing that quite heavily at about 2.5 years in. and then it took me about a year after that to start getting some consistency in the market. So yeah, it took me 3.5 years, but there was a period of time which I didn't really trade because I was starting university. But yeah, it's probably about 4 or 5 hour days because again, I didn't have a lot on my plate, so I can afford to spend a lot of time trading, a lot on the weekends as well. But yeah, trading's a weird one. Like in the beginning, you have to study a lot to actually, you know, become good at technical analysis. So that is definitely requiring a lot of time and effort. But it gets to a stage where your technical analysis is not necessarily amazing, but it's just enough to be profitable. So then your focus has to be kind of inwards, has to be reflecting, has to be improving awareness, improving your routine trading, seeing where you slip up, where your mistakes is, which is difficult in itself, but it doesn't require so much time. You just need to spend time journaling, reflect on what your habits, reflect on what you're doing, and then going over that, and then creating new routine, new ideas to implement in your trading, which is more of a process rather than just kind of spending a lot of time just doing a whole load of nothing really. But yeah, it did take me quite a while to become profitable. Anyway, so what did I say I was going to do? Pound NZ, then we'll go through some dollar pairs, Nasdaq as well. Yep, Euro Pound, we'll take a look. Profitable trader, no problem. What broker I'm using? I'm using IC Markets. I do have my affiliate link at the top if you want to use it, if you want to check them out. But yeah, I've been using IC Markets for about 4 years now. Blessing, what's up? Funded. Next, use 8cap broker. That's what I use. Okay, they use 8cap broker. I mean, I need to check to be fair. Anis, didn't you say they use their own broker? Or they might have changed to be fair. I don't know. But yeah, ACAP's funny. ACAP's funny because ACAP has a partnership with a lot of different prop firms, and yeah, it's a weird one because what's your experience being with ACAP, Blessing? Because yeah, I haven't heard necessarily good things about ACAP to be fair. But again, it's just what I've heard. You know, maybe I've just heard from the wrong people as well. But I've never used ACAP personally, apart from, no, I was about to say apart from my Forex funds, but no, my Forex funds were using their own broker. So yeah, I haven't used ACAP, but a lot of prop firms do. Andreas, what's up? Yeah, we'll take a look at oil as well. Scopity, I've had a ridiculous winning streak over the past 2 weeks, so I'm also having a break to keep my psychology intact. Nice. Yeah, I find that's at this point in time, that's probably the hardest thing for me to deal with is winning streaks rather than losing streaks. Losing streaks, I've been through a lot of them, probably twice or 3 times as many losing streaks that have been winning streaks if you kind of sum up my whole trading career. So losing streaks, I'm quite composed in. I'm quite composed. So I don't really see losing streaks is too much an issue. Of course, it's not comfortable. It's not nice to be in a losing streak, but I've got to a stage where I'm pretty confident in my trading. So when I'm in the losing streak, I'm kind of just, you know, patiently waiting for my equity curve to come back to highs again. So I'm pretty composed. But in a winning streak, sometimes I can see myself getting a bit overly confident, and for some reason, I'm quite eager just to kind of keep that streak going. So I'm quite not careless, but I don't give myself enough time to think about when I get into trades. So if I hit like a nice winning streak, 3, 4, 5 trades, and then I'm still like buzzing off that high, so I'm quite eager just to get back in the market and keep it going. And then I quickly end the streak because I just take a rubbish trade that was just never really a good trade to take. So yeah, I find it hard at the moment dealing with winning streaks and losing streaks at the moment, and just staying kind of focused just on taking the best trade rather than getting swayed with whether you're in a winning streak or losing streak, because it doesn't matter at the end of the day. We're all going to incur both of them. It's just about kind of staying level headed. Doesn't matter if you're winning or losing, just focusing on the best trade. So yeah, I need to focus on that a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, the best thing to do is protect your wins, protect your capital, if there isn't a good trade, then no need to take a trade. And yeah, breaks can be very, very refreshing as well. Well, Fund and Engineer, be careful. You haven't heard good things about Fund and Engineer? NECA, anyone trading FX, IFY, I don't know what that is. Yeah, but I will take a look at Euro Pound. Let me just go through some dollar pairs first. Nasdaq, and I'll take a look. Be careful, yen pair, dollar yen approaching 150 last year. The Bank of I mean, we've been approaching numerous kind of areas where Bank of Japan have intervened before. If I quickly pull up dollar yen and we look to the left, we have seen a lot of interventions here, here, and here. So this is kind of where we saw the main kind of reactions, and we did kind of see a reaction if we take it to the left there. So as you can see here, a little bit here as well, and now we're coming back to the high there too, so possibly could see something like that. And again, in terms of like a natural moving market as well, you would expect to see this kind of move happen sooner or later, just because if you look at the nature of the market, pullback, push, pullback, push, pullback, push. We're coming up to that kind of point where you naturally expect a pullback, naturally expect the price to react with resistance. So it does make sense to see a down move, and of course, Bank of Japan could do their thing as well. So it makes a lot of sense to see a move to the downside happen. Of course, whether it happens or not is a different thing. It potentially could break through, but it's fairly natural to see a move to the downside sooner or later. So yeah, you're definitely right. We are coming to some prices where we could see a sell-off. Again, in terms of buying the market, I'll probably suggest keep it to the lower time frames, or just refrain, because yeah, we don't have too much mileage until we get to 150. We've got about 25 pips, so there's not a lot of room there to work with dollar yen. So yeah, we'll find out what price does next. But yeah, we are coming to those prices where we could see a nice little reaction. Anyway, let me go through some pairs before I forget. So pound NZD. So pound NZD still looking at more downside for this one, but with the price action we've seen getting back above this area here, I would be a little bit careful, because I've got a feeling pound NZD will probably just follow what pound AUD, Euro AUD, Euro NZD has been doing as well. This one's kind of lagging behind a little bit. So I would say be careful with pound NZD, and I'd focus more on this area here. When we came into the week, or my weekly analysis, I gave out 2 areas where you could possibly sell off from. This was one of them, but of course we've broken through that now. So I'd focus more on this one area up here, take out some of these weaker lower highs, come back in 2.07. This looks like a nice area for a nice bearish reaction as well. So I'll keep my eye glued at 2.07. Of course, we're quite far away from that now, so I wouldn't really be looking to focus too much on pound NZD until we get there. But yeah, in terms of pound NZD, we are reacting with some highs here on the left, and we've broken through some structure here as well. So I would like to see a deeper retracement for pound NZD, but I'm still looking at following this big impulse to the downside, looking at some correction and another drop to the downside. So 2.07 looks good. We haven't retested. We broke the downside for a lot of momentum. It's a fresh level, so we can see what type of price action we get there. But yeah, I still am looking at some shorts, just a lot higher up for pound NZD. Nasdaq, and then we'll go through some USD pairs. So Nasdaq, we're seeing some upside here. Price has managed to take out this low. I like it. It looks like we're having a retracement. I would want to see price kind of scale up a little bit higher though, into this 15,100 level. This was the level I was talking about last week. I said I'm not too sure if price will pull back all the way to retest this area. Looks like we might do that. I mean, we're not there yet, but we are kind of consolidating right now. Possibly get another break to the upside to sell off again. That will be very, very nice indeed. But yeah, I'm still looking at lower highs here. We've got one over there, second there, third, fourth. I'm looking at fifth around here for another drop to the downside. So shorts, in my opinion, look pretty good at 15,100. I wouldn't really do anything now. It's kind of just moving sideways, but this area looks very, very attractive for some shorts. Looking for some confirmations there. And yeah, looking to take it back to the downside. Potentially targets back to the prior low there as well. So yeah, in terms of the indices, I'm still pretty bearish. US 100, US 30 still pretty bearish. We want to see a pullback sooner or later for this one and another sell-off. S&P likewise as well, another pullback and sell-off as well. So yeah, US indices don't look good to me. I mean, price action looks good, but in terms of are they going up, I would still fancy more downside for most of them. US 100, US 30, US 500. I'm expecting them to keep falling. I'll go through some dollar pairs now as well. So Euro USD, we touched on that one briefly. Again, I'm still looking at more downside for Euro. I just need to see some pullbacks. I'm not too interested in the retest of this low here. The breakout's a little bit too shallow for my liking. Possibly could sell off from there. I just want to see price pull back a little bit deeper, possibly to retest this area here at 1.05. So with Euro, I still expect price to keep falling. I do have this weekly target down here at this kind of doji there at 1.032. So I still see more downside for it, but I want to see a bigger pullback before I actually start looking to sell. But yeah, still definitely bearish on Euro USD. Aussie dollar, this one's sold off pretty aggressively, taking out these lows here. Looks like the market could be finally giving us a big breakout. We're still looking at price pushing back down to the lows here at 0.62. Looks like we might be on our way now. We had this big level of support. Market keeps throwing a lot of wicks into the same area. Wicks over there, wicks over there. And again, wicks over here as well. The market's had a real hard time trying to break back above that. And looks like we're finally now breaking the support level. So in my books, Aussie dollar's looking very, very good for a sell. You just need to see some retracement, a lower high somewhere, retest some structure. We've got this lovely support level at 0.636. If you can come back, retest that lower high, I would be interested for some sells here. So in my books, Aussie dollar's looking good for a sell. Just need to see some retracement. Yeah, expecting a lot more downside for it. Same thing for pound as well. Nice drop to the downside, clears out the lows here. Would be nice for a pullback and a retest of this area. I would say this low is not bad as well. It's broken out a little bit further than Euro. So you can probably keep an eye on 1.211. And also 1.218, which is this area up here. But yeah, still expecting more downside for pound USD. I'm looking at price coming back into this area of support here, more or less around 1.2, 1.19. So I do still see more downside into this level of support. Just need to see some nice retracement. Dollar CAD I was upset with. I was looking to long dollar CAD coming into the week, but this one just absolutely blew to the upside. So yeah, definitely missed this opportunity of dollar CAD. I mean, I still do think there's more upside to it. I was looking for the retest of this level here, but dollar CAD just, yeah, not even that. It's not even that far away, but dollar CAD just didn't want to retest it anyway. But despite that, I think there's a good opportunity brewing up with dollar CAD. We're clearing out this high here. So the next stop, I'm looking at this resistance here at 1.38315. So I'm looking for some pullbacks now. And the next major target for dollar CAD is this high here. So I do think there's still a long way to go. And possibly to the highest here on the left as well. But we just keep it to this level for now. So yeah, I'm looking at some more retracement at some point in time. And a push into 1.383. So dollar CAD longs are still alive, still kicking. I'm still looking to long the pair. But yeah, retracement is vital because we've had a very, very big impulse here. Let me measure that in pips. From the low to the high, the market's just pumped 300 pips. So I need to see some retracement. But yeah, I still do see more upside. So 1.383 up at those highs. So I'm quite liking what we've got here for the dollar pairs. Euro pound I'll take a look at as well. Okay, where was I? So yeah, Euro pound, dollar yen come at the highs. Analysts are talking about potential Bank of Japan intervention, and rightly so. We'll come up to those prices. You know, it makes sense from a technical standpoint as well. At the end of the day, I'm a technical trader, so I'm going to make my opinions, my biases, my trading decisions on purely technicals. And technicals kind of support what analysts are saying about Bank of Japan intervention. Because we are coming to those prices back to 150. It looks like we might need a retracement sooner or later as well. So that possible kind of intervention looks possible from a technical outlook as well. I'm not really looking to trade it though. I'm still pretty bullish on the pair, but I wouldn't look to buy it anymore since we're very close to 150. I'll kind of see what price does. If you do drop off, maybe there's some buys back up again. or if we break through, we'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, it does make sense for a move to the downside for Bank of Japan, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do see it. How to be profitable, bro? What's your secret? Yeah, that's the thing. There is no secret to be profitable. I used to think there was one, especially when you're losing a lot and then you see other people online winning and you're like, they know something I don't. And maybe they do in terms of maybe their knowledge of how to apply their strategy. And it's not necessarily something they just know, something very secretive. But maybe they can just understand their strategy a lot more than you do. So that's definitely one factor. But in terms of trading profitably isn't very fancy, isn't very glamorous. There's still losing streaks, there's still losing trades, there's still break evens, there's still trades where they go in your favor, then you miss out on another 5R. There's still trades where they're 5 pips away from you to take profit and they reverse back against you. Trading profitably isn't glamorous. It's still very raw. You still take losses, you still take wins, you still take break evens. It's still all a part of the process. But trading profitably is just having that steady upwards trajectory equity curve. So overall, your trading is doing this rather than doing this. This is what profitable trading looks like. That's what unprofitable trading looks like. So there is no necessary secret to it. I still take losers. I still do this as well. But overall, based on my risk to reward, based on my strike rate, my trades, the sum of my trades do that rather than do this. And the difference between this and that could be a wide range of things. There's no one thing that could be the difference. Maybe there is something for you in particular, but in terms of a broader spectrum, it could be multiple reasons why your equity curve is doing that rather than that. It could be your discipline. Are you varying from strategy to strategy? Then of course your equity curve is going to head down. Are you not seeing your trades through and not banking the winners when you should be banking the winners? And then of course your equity curve may just be moving sideways or not moving up as much because you're taking your profit too early. Are you over trading? Then of course your equity curve is going down because you're exposing yourself too much and you're taking a lot of losses. Are you having a lot of FOMO? Are you entering the charts too early? Then of course you're breaking your plan. Of course your equity curves can go down. So there's so many different things that could be cause your equity curve to be going down. And there's so many things you could be looking to improve upon. But the best way to understand that is through journaling as well. So if you want the secret, I'll probably say journal heavily. And if you are journaling heavily, but you're not there yet, keep journaling, because eventually you will be brought, the things that are holding you back will be brought to your awareness, you're brought to your attention, and then you can make things to change that. But there is no secret. You can see people trading a wide range of different strategies, people doing this, people doing that, all profitable, all have upwards trajectory, equity curves. But there is no one secret. There's no one kind of secret thing that I just know that you guys don't know. There isn't that. So I would say keep at it. Make sure you're journaling heavily. Make sure you're honest with yourself as well. If you are repeating the same mistake, be honest with yourself with that mistake. Because if you're not, then you'll keep repeating it. And then put things to change that, to implement. Put things that will change the path you're taking. If you keep over trading, put something in place that stops you over trading. For example, if you over trade, put a cap on your trading, 1 trade per day. And if you stick to that rule, your over trading problem has definitely diminished. Maybe you are still over trading, but at least you can put a cap to it. And then you can look, okay, if I have 1 trade per day, I want to make sure that the trade is the best trade I can find, that fits my plan well, has all the confidences that I want. High time frames look good. You want to make sure that trade is the best trade you can find. So by doing that, naturally, you're going to be more focused on quality rather than quantity. And of course, you got to stick to it because you got to hold yourself accountable. Because you could cap yourself for 1 trade per day, but then you could still end up taking 5. There's no one going to force that law. There's no one going to stop you. There's no one going to say, what are you doing? It's all down to yourself at the end of the day. So So yeah, journal, increase your awareness, your self-awareness, understand where you're going wrong. Could be a number of areas. Of course, only you would know that. And then, yeah, put things in place to correct that. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but putting things in place, correcting yourself, learning from mistakes. That's how you kind of slowly change the direction of your equity curve from down to middle to sideways to going up. I take trades carefully on my real account, but tend to be impatient on challenge account. What to do? Well, it comes down to what you're trading for. On your real account, you've got your real money, you got your live money at stake. So trade carefully on my real account. But yeah, so if you take your trades carefully in your real account, you've got real money at stake, your own hard money at stake, which you can withdraw for any time and spend on whatever you want. So there's a lot more at stake at that point. When you have a challenge account, that means you're trading on a demo account, not real money. You can't withdraw that money. Even profit you make on the demo account for your challenge account, you can't even withdraw or spend. So there's a lot less emotional kind of tied to it, which means that you're more inclined to break rules, you're more inclined to be impatient, you're more inclined to do whatever, because there's not that much meaning to it. When you're a real account, it's got a lot more meaning because it's your money in there. You know, if you do something stupid, you know, you're only punishing yourself at this point. You're losing your own hard-earned money. But when it's a challenge account, yes, you spent money to get the challenge account, but once you've got the challenge account, you're no longer kind of thinking about your challenge fee. You know, if you spend $500 for a challenge account, and then you got the challenge account, you're not thinking about the $500 anymore. That's kind of gone. It's kind of forgetting about it. Yes, you get the refund when you pass the challenge, but you're not really thinking about that. You're thinking about the whatever demo account you're trading, and you don't really have much emotional tied to it, because you know that if you do hit that drawdown limit, that 10% drawdown limit, you lose the challenge, and then that's it. You know, there's no emotional tie to it. So you have to look at it from a perspective of trying to be the best trader you can be. You know, treat it like a real account. Of course, you can't treat it like a real account to the same extent because it's not real, but you need to treat it like one. You know, if you look back at my Forex fund series, although it was very short lasted, you know, I was treating like that, like it was a real account, even though to me it didn't feel real. It didn't feel real. The 100K that I was trading with my Forex funds with the challenge account, it didn't feel real. It just felt like I was trading on a demo account. But I made sure that I acted like it was real. I was very strict with my trading. I was following my trading plan to the T. I was taking the best trades I can find, managing my risk. You know, everything was done very carefully. So although it was a little bit of a drawdown, you know, sooner or later I would find some profit and work my way out of it. But I was treating like it was real, even though to me it didn't feel real. So you have to treat it like it's your real account at the end of the day. And it just comes back to discipline in your decision making, because there's no kind of one thing that will just change everything for you. If you're going to treat the account like it doesn't have much meaning, then yeah, you're gonna make silly mistakes. Scope TFX. This channel's my secret, bro. We'll take a look at Euro-Pound next. Scope TFX, yeah, exactly that, Miko. I see the trade chat didn't fit my plan perfect, lost it, and thought I've made a lot of money. No need to get greedy. So take 5 and come back in a week or so. Yeah, exactly. That's it. You know, once you get a nice winning streak, you get a nice payday, there's no need to just go and give that right back, because the market is there. It's always going to be there, and it will be there to take your money from you if you're going to mess around. So it's even when you're losing streak, you know, you've taken a few losses, you know, you've given away some of your profits. It's time to just take a break, readjust, and then come back the next day, next week, whatever. So yeah, kind of be able to kind of sit on yourself, because again, trading, although you want to be kind of systematic, you want to be robotic, whenever you see a good trade, you're just there to take, you know, and whatnot. You know, we're human at the end of the day. We're going to have an influx of emotions, whether good or bad. It's always going to be there. That's always going to be something you have to deal with. You know, I don't quite believe in mastering emotions to a perfect extent. I think you can be on the journey to mastery and look to improve yourself in terms of on identifying your emotions and getting better from that perspective. So I do think that's definitely a journey that everyone's on. But in terms of mastery, in terms of emotion, just have zero effect on you. I'm not too sure anyone's ever reached that ever. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone has, but I doubt it's a lot of people. So yeah, emotions are always going to be a factor, always something you have to battle through, and we're human at the end of the day. So sometimes just taking a breather and coming back next day, the next week is a secret weapon in itself, to be fair. Coco, what's up? There is a group on Telegram who sends signals. What is your thoughts? Is that my group? I post my trades in my group chat. I think with signals, at the end of the day, it's in the name. It's signals. You know, signals can win, signals can lose. I would never want to bank myself and base myself around signals at all, because at the end of the day, you know, you're giving your account. You know, if you completely submit to signals, then you're kind of giving your account in control to someone else. And if you're not going to see it through, then it could get very ugly. So I would say signals can be good to learn from, because obviously the way I post my trades is I will post them on my Telegram and explain them on the live stream, so you can kind of get the thought process of myself and my trading. But if you follow signals exclusively, then you're not really learning, are you? You're kind of just taking trades just to take trades and make quick money. So you need to make sure that you're learning and becoming the asset yourself and being able to trade yourself. So I would never want to rely on purely signals. But yeah, if you can understand the strategy from it, it's a way to help understand your analysis and improve from that perspective, but nothing that you want to kind of bank upon and just commit to. You need to be learning how to trade yourself. Nice time effects, what's up? I'm seeing yen doing higher than 150, taking out all early sellers. Possibly that could happen as well. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Possibly a push to the upside, takes out 150, and then we see a big kind of plummet to the downside. I would not be surprised at that at all, to be fair. CAD yen's kind of done that already. Aussie dollar, can you please give some insights on Aussie dollar? If you scroll back maybe like 10-15 minutes, I did already go through Aussie dollar. I'm looking at selling the pair. Persistence and strong mind pays off 100%. 100%. I have seen some positive results in my trading after following this channel too, bro. Nice, keep it up. Again, positive results is just can be it's weird, because you think when you're losing in trading, you think it's like a huge mountain to climb before you start seeing some consistency. But as a person who's gone from inconsistency to consistency, looking back, I can see it's just a few tweaks. It's just a few tweaks, especially someone who's been trading like 6 months, a year. If you've got that kind of experience under your belt, then normally it's just a few tweaks here and there. You know, a change of perspective here and there, and eventually you can go from losing streaks, losing months, to winning streaks. It's just a very kind of minute kind of change, because after 6 months to a year, I would understand that your technical analysis should be on a decent level. Of course, we're not saying, you know, all-star level. It doesn't need to be all-star level to be profitable. It can be very, very basic and still be profitable. But I'd say after 6 months, a year of learning technical analysis, your level, your analysis level should be at a decent level to actually start seeing some profits. Then after that, it's kind of just tweaking everything, fine-tuning everything to get profitability. And normally it's just a few tweaks here and there. Of course, journaling is kind of where you kind of do the tweaking, but a few tweaks here and there, and you kind of just roll over to consistency just naturally. So it's not such a crazy thing, consistency in trading. I understand a lot of people, you know, do fail, but a lot of people don't do the right thing at the end of the day. So just keep at it 100%. Anus Miko, I backtested the mechanical system that I told you last time, and 5 years later said exactly what you told me. With a mechanical system, you can make 100% risk reward in a year and then 10% the next year. I would just keep this system as a second strategy and stick to my first one. Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I don't like about mechanical systems, is because you can see a really, really good return, and then you can see a flat year potentially. You can go from 100% to a flat year, which is not necessarily bad, because again, the key thing about trading is making money in the long run. It's never about the short term. So as long as your mechanical system, the equity curve, is doing that, it may have flattened out for a year here, and the next year might have done something crazy. As long as the equity curve is going up, it's still profitable, still making money, it's still doing its job. As long as it's managing risk as well, it's still doing its job. But the only thing about mechanical systems is that it lacks that kind of that human input, especially when you've been trading for a while. You can tend, for example, if price is coming into a big level like here for dollar yen. Let me go to dollar yen real quick. Again, it's all terms of probability at the end of the day, but in terms of like this, for example, we've had a huge sell-off from 150. Would I really want to be looking to buy it up here? No, not really. Possibly it might work. We might shoot to the stars. I have no idea what price will do next. I can only work with probabilities, but I can know that I can probably find a better trade elsewhere, or at least wait for price to develop a little bit better before I consider looking to buy into this area. Whereas mechanical system, as long as you got a buy signal, it's in the trade. So from a human standpoint, we have that slight edge, that kind of discretionary edge where we can go like, okay, it doesn't make sense to buy here, so let me just wait for a bit more information. And maybe news is coming out, NFP is coming out. So there's a lot of things you can do from a discretionary standpoint that mechanical system can't do. So as long as the mechanical edge is profitable, I still think you should go for it, trade it. But I think the discretionary system will just always have that edge to kind of adapt to things when things change. You can see maybe market conditions are not really favoring your system at the moment. You can look to scale back, sit on your hands a little bit. Then you can see, okay, market's finding a little bit more rhythm. It's fit my plans very, very, very well. I can look to press on the gas a little bit. So that's why I like discretionary systems. And I'm not the biggest fan of mechanical systems. But yeah, I mean, it looks like you got it sussed out as well. So yeah, the first strategy, keep at it. Second strategy, keep at it too. But yeah, there could be a big change, and we don't know the future either. Like with mechanical systems, if it's based on purely numbers, you could potentially see the next 2 years, the sum of the next 2 years give you minus 10%. That's a possibility as well. Whereas with your discretional system, although you could still have minus 10% over the next 2 years if you just make poor trading decisions, but at least you can adapt. If things are not going well, and if things are out of place, you can lower your risk. You have that kind of space and time to make adjustments. But yeah, that's the only thing I don't like mechanical systems. But if it's profitable, I say still invest into it. Gold, what's up? Shubham, hope I'm saying that correctly. Love from India. Thank you so much for coming onto the stream. If you need a journal, prefer writing stuff down, hit me up. Yeah. Scalpy TFX is the journal plug. Favor Aussie CAD, yeah, Euro Pound. I was supposed to take a look at that a while ago, wasn't I? I have a saying on my kitchen wall that goes, learn to observe your emotions. With no reaction, you'll learn to make better decisions. That's a nice little saying. I mean, that's a good one from a trading standpoint and life actually. To be fair, not just trading. I mean, a lot of things in trading can be widened to a broader topic of just life in general. But yeah, I like it a lot. And yeah, that's what a lot of trading is, kind of just seeing the emotions come in and kind of just non-identifying with it, because no, I don't think there's a single trader who's happy when they lose. No one's happy when they lose. So everyone's going to feel a little bit of, I mean, there definitely is traders where they get to a point where they just don't care at all when they lose, because they're still very profitable. The losses are normal. They've experienced many losses in their lifetime. Taking a loss means absolutely nothing to them. So there's definitely some traders who just completely numb to the feeling of loss 100%. For me, I still have a little bit of uncomfortability when I lose as well. Again, it's not enough for me to do something stupid, but when I take a loss, it's like, and then I'm pretty much moved on. But there's traders who just don't even feel that, it's just absolutely nothing. Yeah, definitely when you're in like your first kind of few years, you're going to experience that. Obviously, a lot more in the early stages. It's going to diminish as you go on. But not identifying for your emotions and just being kind of observer to it is kind of how you tackle that. But anyway, so Euro Pound. Yeah, Euro Pound, I was looking for some buys for this one coming to the week. I actually really like the setup down here. Around 0.61, I was hoping for another down move first before looking to buy. But it still could do. It still could come down. But it's looking pretty bullish right now with Euro Pound. So could be seeing a move back to the highs down the left. If you want to buy Euro Pound, of course, you can buy Euro Pound. But make sure it's a part of your plan. It's a setup that you look to trade time and time again and not just buying it because it's bullish. In terms of my analysis for Euro Pound, I am looking at a lot more upside. We do have this kind of bold pattern here. So I'm expecting us to eventually break to the upside, come back and retest this big old level here at 0.872. So I can personally see a lot more upside for Euro Pound. However, I wanted to buy it a little bit lower down here. But I'm not too sure that will happen. So we'll see how that unfolds. But yeah, Euro Pound, I am bullish, looking eventually for a push to the highs here. If you do have one more move to the downside, fantastic. If not, I'm still expecting the market to head to the upside as well. I'll take a look at gold, AUD CAD as well. Anus, bro, I'm thinking to get different accounts to each strategy. Currently, I'm doing 10k challenge with a mechanical system on your Telegram channel, sharing all the journey with the set of the group. Nice. Yeah, I think that's a good idea as well. I'm working on a second strategy at the moment as well, and it's kind of weird because with the first strategy, but I've been trading it for such a long time, so I'm very much accustomed to looking for those type of setups and trading those setups but with the second strategy, like I have to look at the market through a different lens, and it's very hard to look at the market through two lenses. And what I mean by two lenses is that for your first strategy, you're looking at the market from from a certain view, a certain angle to take those setups. Because we can look at the charts the same way, but people take different trades and whatnot. So I know what I'm looking at in terms of my trades. But if I'm trading the second strategy at the same time, I have to be looking at the market from a different angle as well. So I'm finding it a little bit challenging from that aspect, because sometimes I might miss a strategy. I might miss a trade on my first strategy because I'm trading the second strategy, or vice versa. I might miss a trade on my second strategy because I'm trading the first strategy. So I think separating accounts could be a big game changer. Kind of, once you're on that count, you fully focus there. Second count, you fully focus there. And of course, it doesn't clash with your drawdown, your equity curve as well, because there will be times when, your first strategy might be in a bit of drawdown, but so is your second strategy. So instead of being in 3% drawdown, you're maybe 5 or 6% because both strategy in drawdown at the moment. There will be times like that. Of course, there'll be times where first strategy in profit, second strategy in profit as well. So it will be doubled from that perspective too. But, as traders, our number one priority is to manage the downside. So I'm thinking maybe having a second account and deploying the second strategy there is probably the best thing to do for myself as well, because it's just a little bit difficult to combine them both. At least now anyway, maybe after like 6 months, maybe I'm used to it. But the thing is, I'm so used to just trading this first strategy, and now having a second strategy kind of confuses things a little bit. So I'm still kind of working my way around that. But I think I completely get where you're coming from there. No need to overcomplicate, especially with a challenge as well. Especially with a challenge, because you got those drawdown limits to stick to. If I go through 10% drawdown, of course it's maybe not comfortable, but it doesn't mean that I lose my live account. My funds are still there. I can still claw myself back out that 10% drawdown and continue my trading. With the challenge account, it's gone. So it's probably smart to keep it separate. Is that with funded pips as well, Anus? Going towards Gold's Will, what is up? Have you traded today? No, I haven't traded today. I'm new to your channel though. Is the gold retest M15? Okay, so you're one of the little lower time frame boys. Yeah, I haven't taken a trade today. I did take a trade yesterday in Aussie Yen. That was a losing trade. Got some buys down here, but price absolutely plummeted to the downside. Took me out of the trade. I'm actually really liking the price action across the board. I haven't gone for my watch list yet. I'll go for my watch list in a moment. But I'm really liking the price action. There's a lot of momentum in the markets at the moment, coming into Q3 as well. So I think we might see a nice big quarter of a lot of movement. So yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing with the yen pairs, the dollar pairs as well. Trend's still going. New Zealand dollar looks good too. Looks like we're taking out this low here. So if we can get a nice bit of retracement somewhere, expecting price to come out, take the lows there too. So I'm liking what I'm seeing with a lot of pairs. Gold and silver, those have absolutely melted out the sky as well. So I think some retracement sooner or later from these guys looks good, and some more shorts. Silver, I'm looking at price coming into the low here on the left. So I think there's still a long way to go for silver. As you can see, a huge move to the downside, breaking the structure. Ooh, breaking the structure there. There we go. So yeah, for silver, I'm looking at some corrections and continuations as well. So I think there's a lot of opportunities to be had. Of course, I'm not planning to trade all of these opportunities, but whichever one gives me the best opportunity, I'll definitely will go for. But anyway, so I'll touch on a did euro pound. I'll touch on Aussie CAD. That was requested. I'll go for gold quickly. Now I'll take a look at gold in the 15 as well. You make me chuckle. I'm good. I can spread a little bit of laughter and a bit of technical analysis. Nice little combo. Okay, so where was I? Aussie CADs. Yeah, Aussie CAD. We've had very weird price action with Aussie CAD. I'm not really a big fan of this one, to be fair. I mean, we have taken out some lows here, so that's all well and cool. Higher time frames, there still might be a bit more downside to it. Possibly this wick low could be a longer term goal. But yeah, in terms of price action, in terms of structure, everything is still pretty bearish here with Aussie CAD. As we can see, the lower highs in the market have been pretty consecutive. The market hasn't broke kind of any major structure. Yeah, sure, we might have broke some lower highs here on the lower time frames, but it doesn't really change anything in the grand scheme of things as well. So with AUD CAD, I still do see more downside for this one, and targets would just naturally be back to the prior low. In terms of actually opportunities to short the pair, I'm not really seeing good ones. I mean, the best I can see at the moment is a retest of this area here, which is not bad. It's a nice level to short from. I'm just not too sure if we'll get back up there again, but 0.87, as you can see, a lot of wicks down the 4H. Markers moved sideways, broke to the downside. A nice little retest of that looks like a decent place to short from, and naturally those lows look like a good target. So with Aussie CAD, I do see still more downside. I'm still bearish on the pair. It looks like Aussie just in general is very weak. Aussie Yen, big move to the downside. Euro AUD, big move to the upside. Pound AUD, big move to the upside. Aussie C share, big move down. AUD CAD's having a big move at the moment as well. So looks like AUD is weak across the board. And generally speaking, AUD is pretty weak as well. So I think that weakness is about to step back in. I really like Aussie dollar, so I think I'll focus on Aussie dollar just purely out of the Aussie pairs. Maybe I'll take a look at Aussie Yen if that one cleans up a little bit, but I do like AUD USD, so that's the Aussie pair I'm looking to focus on, and look for some shorts. This one's still dropping like it's hot as well. 0.62 is the target as well, so still got a bit of a way to go. If I measure it in pips from current price to the level, still about 100 pips or so. So if I can see a nice little retracement, I wouldn't mind getting to some shorts here. Same thing with NZD USD, although this one's got a longer way to go. I'm looking for us to come back to this low here, which is still about 350 odd pips away. So I'm liking what I'm seeing here. But yeah, AUD CAD still looking at more downside, but you do want to see some pullbacks first. I'll take a look at gold next, and I'll drop to the 15 as well. But yeah, for gold, I'm looking at more downside. So gold, I've got this low here we're looking at. We've absolutely plummeted to the downside. I want to see some pullbacks. These are the two levels I was talking about coming into the week. Didn't retest either of them. Prices kind of just dropped to the downside. So I'm looking at 1860 as a nice little level to short from. Again, such a big move to the downside with such a minimal retracement. Hopefully we can get a nice little bullish leg to the upside. If I whip out Fibonacci, let's change that to white so we can all see what's actually going on. I doubt we'll come back to any of these Fibonacci levels, but just to put it in context, 50% is all the way up there. I think that's probably close to the 0.382 maybe. Not even quite 0.382, so it's a tricky one with gold because I want to see some retracement, but at the moment we're just seeing such bearish conditions. I'm not too sure we'll see such a big pullback. But again, my job is not to just trade because things are bearish or bullish. Just trading to find a good setup. So if I don't get a good setup, doesn't matter how good my bias is, there is no trade for me. So hopefully you can see some pullbacks for gold. Same thing with silver as well. I'm looking at both of them equally. And yeah, looking to attack that to the downside. And you're talking about breaking me test on the 15-minute chart. Let's zoom into the 15-minute chart so I can see what you're talking about. Okay, so I think I understand. You're talking about breaking me test of this high here, maybe? You're talking about breaking me test to buy gold or sell gold? I mean, it's not bad, but it's just very, very aggressive. Considering how bearish gold is, looking to buy the market in these conditions, it's kind of a difficult one. Not to say we can't retest it and push to the upside. Of course, it does make sense. We're actually starting to print some higher highs and some higher lows in, so it does make sense. But just in the context of the market, based on higher time frames, I'd rather stick to selling. So yeah, I wouldn't really go for that. But of course, if it's your plan, go ahead. But I'm not a big fan of that at all. It's just way too aggressive considering the nature of the market. I wouldn't want to be looking to take breaks and retest in the 15-minute against all of that momentum. Could still work, of course. It's all probabilities, but it's just not a probability that I would want to go for. No, bro, it was a 10k. The funded trader that I bought a long time ago. I don't like the prop firm. They steal the profits with the slippage. But anyway, I'm up 2.8% challenge currently. Nice. I mean, of course, if you're already in the challenge, then you're not going to throw away the challenge because you don't like the firm as well. It's still got to trade it. But yeah, I mean, there was that interview they did not long ago with Jade Cat, and he was talking about how they create the conditions for slippage and spread, because of course when you're trading on a demo account, you're not actually in the live market. So in terms of your orders, in terms of spread, it's basically nothing. Basically nothing because it's not real. It's not there's no live feed of data, so there's no liquidity needed. So in terms of demo accounts, you can literally just place a trade and you get filled right on the exact pip of where the market is. So in terms of slippage and spread, it's all kind of fabricated. It's all made up to simulate the conditions of live markets. And at the time, I thought it was a bit weird, to be fair. Because they said you have to create the conditions, which I thought was weird, but then I said to myself, it makes sense because, they want to create conditions of the live markets. If you're going to trade 100k, supposedly live. So it did make sense from that perspective. And of course, if you're a profitable trader, then it shouldn't really make too much difference. Yes, it might cut into your profits, but at the end of the day, you can still make money. Yeah, they're going to chop your profits here and there, but it's still profitable. But that's kind of what my Forex funds were doing a little bit. I'm not too sure to the exact detail, but it sounds similar to what they were doing. So yeah, it's a sticky situation. But yeah, of course, if you've already got the challenge, then you're not going to throw it away. Yeah, £1, I just did that one. Journal plug, lol, lower time frame, boys. Made me laugh. Yeah, I do like adding my own little lingo to it. Dollar Swiss, bro. Oh yep, I forgot about oil. Apologies, I was supposed to do oil ages ago. Okay, so I'll do oil first because that was recommended before, but I will get on to dollar Swiss Matt. So yeah, oil. Let me just see what oils do on the higher time frames first. Okay, interesting stuff. We're back at a very key resistance here on the left after we broke through the first key level, which was this area, favoring price to come back to 92 or 93, was it? Yeah, 93, 93.4. Now price is at that. It's had a pretty heavy rejection now. So with oil, possibly could be seeing a retest of this structure here. We've had a lovely impulse to the upside, correction of the impulse. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a correction, retest, and something like that. Or just maybe that. We don't need to forecast that far ahead. But I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a retest of this structure here for oil before we do see continuations. Of course, price having such a hard time breaking through this area, we may see that push to the downside. So sales look good in the meantime. It's still a bit counter trend because I would be focusing on this momentum here in terms of the trend. So I would still deem the sales a bit counter trend. But in the meantime, sales do make sense for oil. I wouldn't sell it right now, of course. We're coming back into this level of support. Naturally speaking, some sells off this area do make some sense. Push into that area of the sell-off, or equally if you can break through and you can look to sell underneath that area there as well, that would make some sense too. But I do like the shorts here with oil. I do like the shorts here with oil. Naturally speaking, buys probably look good here too if you can see the necessary price action. But yeah, I do favor sells. I do favor sells. Really nice impulse up, followed by equally strong impulse down. So kind of giving us that V-shaped price action, which typically does mean reversal. So a retest of 90.39, or if you can clear the lows, 88.33, look good for some sells, and a retest of 85, 84 makes some sense as well for some targets. But yeah, oil, really nice rejection from that high time frame level. I wouldn't be looking to buy the market at the point in time. Buys down here might look a little bit better. We'll wait and see how price reacts when we get there. But yeah, I do like the sells going forward. So keep an eye on both scenarios. You might see the retracement, might see a breakout. It's up to oil at this point. But yeah, looking at some counter trend opportunities to the downside first, before maybe some bigger sells later. Bigger buys, sorry, later on. So yeah, hopefully that made sense for oil. We'll take a look at dollar Swiss as well. Yeah, it already went through euro pound. Jack, what's up? Hope you're good. If you guys are enjoying the stream, by the way, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe. It does really help out the stream. And if, of course, if you're enjoying the streams a lot or the videos are great, make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any of them in the future. Jack, what's up? Gold is in a reversal mode on the 4H. You mean reversal to the upside, clear green candle that closed above opening price of last candle, classic reversal pattern. So you're talking about bullish engulfing there. So possibly, but I wouldn't really go for that myself. Because again, I trade engulfing patterns. I trade candle patterns a lot. That's how I enter the market. But it's all in context, it's all in context. With the current conditions of the market being so bearish, this is probably one of the most aggressive trends we've probably seen, this year pretty much. So this is very aggressive price action. Would I want to take this bullish engulfing? Absolutely no. Not the fact that it can't work, it potentially can, but I'd rather be taking bearish engulfing candles facing to the downside rather than bullish engulfing candles. I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe see a bit of upside and price comes straight back down to take out this low. So yeah, yes, there's a nice bullish engulfing, classic reversal pattern. 100%, I agree with you. But in context, in context with the market, it just doesn't make any sense to buy that, in my opinion, anyway. So I would avoid that bullish engulfing candle, because bullish engulfing candles, they're everywhere. Bullish, bearish, whatever candlestick patterns, they're everywhere. But if you apply them with confluence, with a bit of high time frame analysis, they can come very powerful. But just them alone, just the bullish engulfing candle alone, doesn't have that much power, and that's kind of what we're seeing here. So yeah, we could see some upside, but I wouldn't get too overexcited by it. The problem is that they make it harder for us. Huge slippage, bro. 3 to 4 pips or spread also lost huge for day traders. Yeah. That's very, very true. That's very, very true. I know I kind of dodged that a little bit with swing trading, but I still trade in the hourly time frame, so that's still intraday. So I still do see the difference between the pips. But yeah, definitely scalpers. Scalpers, I could imagine, just have the worst experience, because 3 to 4 pips for scalpers is huge. Sometimes their targets is 10 pips. So if the spread is 3 to 4 pips, that's cutting into their profit big time. And even with their stop loss as well. So yeah, scalpers, it will be very, very difficult to operate. So yeah, I mean, of course, they're trying to make it that's true. That is true. I don't know, because they're obviously giving you these challenges, and they're saying pass the challenge to get funded, and they're obviously making it harder. They're not necessarily. It's difficult because in the live markets, there's obviously gonna be spread. There's obviously gonna be slippage. So that's a fact. That's a fact in the live markets. So what they're trying to do is mimic the live markets, but it's a demo account. So you kind of have to tell that to people, I would think anyway. Because, for example, if I was actually going to give someone 100k to trade with in the live markets, then they would experience slippage, they would experience spread. Like, that's a fact. But if I was to give someone a 100k demo and then add slippage and spread on top without telling them, then that's kind of bad practice. If I was to tell you, okay, I'm going to give you this 100k demo account, but I'm going to try and mimic the conditions to try and replicate live conditions, then okay, that's fair enough. I'm telling you what I'm doing to the account. But if I just give you the 100k demo account and then tell you that I'm going to manipulate conditions, then it's a little bit sus. It's a little bit weird. But hey, that's kind of the model that everyone's kind of doing. I don't know, maybe not everyone's doing it. Definitely they're doing it though. So yeah, I can see where the issue lies with that. Anyway, I'm current challenger would be up 3.1% in profits if they have proper slippage and spreads. Wow, so you 2.4 to 3.1. That's a big difference. That is a big difference actually, which is not good. Also, current price fits the spring of Wyckoff accumulation, another strong reversal pattern. Really appreciate your bias, no problem. Any Nigeria? Yeah, my dad's from Nigeria. I'm half Nigerian myself. Don't agree now. But appreciate your brilliance, no problem. Again, all I'm here to do is give you my experience, my 2 pence in trading. I'm not trying to talk you guys out of trade and stuff like that. Because if you've got a plan, you've got a system that you follow, then of course take that trade. Sometimes it's going to clash with my bias, sometimes it's going to clash with my outlook, and I take losses as well. So it's not like I know exactly what the market's going to do. I take losses, I take wins, I take break evens, and so are your systems as well. So the key thing is to make sure you're doing right by yourself and right by your plan, because if there's something wrong with the plan, you will find out eventually from trading it, then you can make amends and adjustments there. But yeah, of course, I'm just going to give you my bias, my outlook on the pair. And obviously, of course, you take that you can take that in and do whatever you want with it. You can chuck it in the bin, or you can listen to it. So it's up to you. But at the end of the day, if you've got a trading plan, a system, look to follow it, because if there's flaws within it, you'll eventually find it out and then you can correct it. If you keep drifting from thing to thing, then you'll never find out. Melvin, Eurocad, Aussie, Swiss. Okay, I'll take a look at a couple of those. Why not take $10 or even $20 and trade live? What do you mean? Thank you, Scorpio TFX. Appreciate it. Catch you tomorrow as well. Live account completely different from demo. Yeah, it is. Very, very much it is. Live account is very, very different from demo. But I don't understand what you mean by take $10 or $20 and trade live. First of all, $10 or $20 is very, very hard to trade live, as in with appropriate risk management, because even if you were to use a smaller size, 0.01, on or $10, $20, you're still looking at maybe $2, $3, $4, $5 stop loss just for like a normal trade on like Euro USD, for example. So you're already risking like half, 25% of your account on $10, $20. So there's not a lot you can do with that extent. So yeah, I wouldn't really recommend that. But of course, you know, flipping accounts has been a bit of a trend the past kind of month or so. A lot of people trying to flip accounts. So yeah, maybe why not try and flip $10, $20 to a few thousand. I mean, that would be interesting, but yeah, I would definitely not recommend trading on that. But anyway, we're coming up to the end of the stream, so let me quickly go through my kind of watch list for the rest of the week. So coming into the week, let me quickly bring up the old TradingView profile. Feel free to follow me on TradingView, by the way. So coming into the week, these are some pairs I'm looking at. Gold shorts, of course, gold just plummeted to the downside. I'm still looking at shorting gold, but I want to see some retracement for this one. So I'm looking at 1863. I'll keep an eye on 1885, but we're very, very far from that. But still looking at a bit more downside into 1811. EuroCAD, I do like the sales of this one, hoping for a bit more upside first before I do short. But I'm looking at price coming back to the way we came from. We had a low, lower high, lower low, looking at a lower high somewhere, and some shorts to the downside. Euro AUD, this one's broken through that level, so I'm no longer considering shorting this at the moment. Breaking through my area of confluence, so I'm not going to be looking to short this one at all. USD CAD, that was of course just flown to the upside, but I do think there's still room to the upside around 1.38. So I'm looking at some retest, some retracement, and then I'll consider buying dollar CAD again. But yeah, we did not get a retest of that level at all. And Aussie Yen, this is the trade that I took yesterday, which did fail at that level, and price is obviously broken through aggressively to the downside. So we might be looking at a reversal going forward as well. But also, I will be keeping an eye on silver as well. Silver equally kind of a similar opportunity as gold. I think I'll just kind of treat them both the same way and just wait for one of them to give me a good opportunity. Whether it's on gold and silver, I'm not really too fast. I like them both equally. Still looking at silver coming to this low here. So yeah, silver shorts look good, just waiting for some retracement. Same with gold as well. Aussie dollar, after this big break to the downside, I really like the price action here. So we'll be looking at some pullbacks and retests to continue. 0.636 looks very nice as well. As the USD, I like as well, especially we can take out this low here. Looking at lower high somewhere, and I'm looking at price taking out that low too. So I do really like as the USD. Now we'll be keeping an eye on some yen pairs as well, especially like Euro Yen. I feel like a breakout, but this one is on the cards very soon, and I'll be looking at price coming into the low. So quite a few pairs I'm keeping an eye on for. Nothing quite cemented yet. It's either I'm waiting for some retracement or I'm waiting for price to break some structure first. So I'm not sure I'll be taking any positions today, but I do think we'll probably get some nice trades later this week. We do have NFP this week, don't we? Yeah, we have NFP this week, but I'm liking what I'm seeing in the market. It's a lot of movement, looking good. Just need to wait for some pullbacks, and yeah, I can get some nice trades later this week. But yeah, guys, we have come up to the end of the stream. Appreciate everyone for tuning in, chatting with me, liking the video, subscribing as well. If you haven't done that already, make sure you go and do that. But appreciate all the love on the stream, guys. I will be live again tomorrow and Thursday. I'm live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. So I hope to see everyone tomorrow. Thank you so much for Anas for moderating the stream. I appreciate it. But yeah, guys, I will be live again tomorrow. So I will see you then. If I do get any trades, I doubt it. I'll let you know on the Telegram, link in the description to that. But like I said, I doubt getting any trades. But yeah, guys, have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all tomorrow.